Hey witches, welcome back to my channel. It's the Wyld Wytch here. I hope that you're all having a great day. But before I jump into talking about string magic, I first want to apologize for not recording a video last week. I typically try to record at least once a week, but I have such a small window of time to record that I didn't have a chance. So I do apologize, and I hope that you understand. My life is so busy and it's so hectic, and I didn't have a chance to record. So I hope that you understand that, and I will try my best to do better. So I also want to thank all of my subscribers. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. I love each and every one of you, and I am so grateful for you guys. Like, it means so much to me. You have no idea how much it means to me that you have subscribed to my channel. So if you just stop by to check out my video on string magic, then welcome. I hope that you will find something that you like about it. I hope that you can incorporate string magic into your practice. And if you do like it, maybe check out my playlist. And if you like what you see there, think about subscribing to my channel. We would love to have you here, and everyone is welcome. So let's go ahead and get started in string magic. So for me, string magic is similar to knot magic. So if you know anything about knot magic, or you're interested in knot magic, then you might want to give my string magic a go. Now, I don't know if it's a technical thing. I've not seen other witches do string magic on YouTube the way that I do it, and I've not read about it in a book as well. Now, I am not saying that other people don't do string magic, or other people don't do it the way I do. I'm just saying that I've never seen someone else do it like I do, or read about it in a book. But if you do string magic, or you know of another witch that does string magic, then comment down below and tell me how you do it or how someone else does it. I love to learn how other witches incorporate things into their practice, and I'm sure my subscribers would like to hear about it as well. So make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know how you do it, or if you do it similar to me. I don't know, maybe you do it the exact same way that I do, but I find it fascinating to see how other witches practice. So make sure that you comment down below and let me know. So I'm going to move out of the way so you can see how I do my string magic. So give me just a second to move. I'm going to be able to quit doing all this moving back and forth in a little while, but for right now, it's still how I have to do things. So give me a second to move out of the way, and we'll get started on this. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is go out in nature and find a stick on the ground. Now, it can be just a regular stick like this. I'm trying to get it where you can see the whole thing, but you can't. It's a little too big. Now, I normally use a stick a little bit bigger than this one, but for the sake of this video, this is just the stick I went outside and picked up. But like I said, it can be any size stick. It can be any type of stick. It doesn't have to be a certain kind. But the main thing that you want to focus on is you must be drawn to the stick. So as you're walking around looking for this stick, you want to know that the stick that you find is going to be so magical. There's not going to be another stick on the ground like this that contains the energy that this stick holds within itself. You know that this stick is going to carry all of your spells straight to the divine, because it exists on all planes. It is not confined just to earth. Like, it literally exists on all planes of existence, and therefore it can carry your spell straight to the divine. It's so magical, and you need to think about this as you're looking for this stick. If you are outside and you really don't find a stick that you're drawn to, that's okay. Leave it alone. Go back another day. You want to keep doing this until you find the stick that's like calling out to you. So once you get your stick, you want to take it home, or wherever it is that you do your work-ins, your sacred space, your altar, wherever it is that you prep your magic tools and stuff. So you want to take it there, and the first thing that you're going to do is use some kind of purification. Now for me, I use this purification oil that I make, but you don't necessarily have to use a purification oil. However, if you want a purification oil, you can make it yourself, or you can go to my shop and purchase one. But you can use incense, you can use a smudge, whatever it is that you associate with purification. So for me, I'm going to use this oil. I place 1 drop in my hand. Well, that was 2. But anyway, I place 1 drop in my hand. I rub my hands together, and then I'm going to rub it all over this stick. And as I rub it, all over this stick, I do so to remove all the energy that's clinging to this stick other than its own energy. And this is why I choose to use my purification oil instead of smudging it, is because with it, it's going to remove all of these clinging energies, but it's going to keep the energy that's already within this stick. So it's not going to remove that energy. It's going to keep it there. So if you happen to use a smudge or incense that's going to remove all of the energies associated with it, like white sage, like California white sage, because to me, California white sage removes all energy, whether it's good energy, bad energy. It just cleanses all energy. So you want to imbue it with your energy again for its magical purpose. So once I do that, once I've anointed it with my purification oil, I then take my sacred goddess spray, and I just spritz it over just several times, until I feel like it's good. I don't have to spray it anymore. But anyway, I spray this goddess oil, and you could use, not oil, spray. You could use any kind of sacred spray. You might even call it your holy water, anointing water, sacred water, whatever you call it. We use it, so we are imbuing it with its purpose. Like, we're letting it know exactly what its purpose is. We're giving our thanks, our respect for carrying our spells straight to the divine, because that's what it's going to do. And we want to let it know, we appreciate it, we are grateful, and we want it to know that's its purpose. That's its only purpose, is to carry these spells straight to the divine. So once you do this, you want to let it dry. So once it's dry, you can decorate it if that's what you wish to do. Now, you don't have to decorate it, but you can. You can use crystals, strings, you can carve on it, you can do some wood carvings, you can carve some glyphs or symbols, sigils, whatever it is that you're drawn to do, go ahead and do so. Alright, so once that's all done, then you are ready to begin your spell work. So I do these one of 3 ways. For my string magic, I do healing, I do attraction, and I do banishing. Now, I'll go ahead and determine which one it is that I'm going to do. Sometimes I do more than one, but I go ahead and determine what it is that I'm going to do, and then I decide what color string I'm going to use. Now, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I do associate colors with what I'm doing. And as you can see, I've got all different kind of strings laying here. You can use different kinds. It really doesn't matter. But decide, what color, if you're going to do color with it. And then you want to decide if you're going to use herbs, crystals, magic oils, magic powders, if you're going to use a particular day of the week, if you're going to use a specific time, if you're following the moon phase, if you're following a particular planet, or if you're doing the sun. Maybe you want the sun in a particular zodiac sign. Then, just plan it all out. Plan exactly what you're going to say, what the outcome is that you want. Like, know everything from beginning to end what you want to do. So once you've got all this figured out, you've got your spell, you're ready to begin. So I'll show you first healing. So for healing, well, let me go ahead and tell you this. So for all 3, I go ahead and tie my string. So it doesn't matter which one I'm doing, I tie my string on here already to go ahead and get started. So like, as you can see, they're already, tied on here. So for healing, you tie it, but whenever you tie it, you want to tie in the middle of the string like this. So you've got your ends right here are even at the bottom, because you're going to tie your healing string in a bow. So you go ahead and tie it on there, and then I use a corresponding plant, and I tie it in the middle, of the string, and then I tie the bow. So as you can see right here, there's the flower, and see the knot is right on top of the plant. So you go ahead and tie this up, and the reason that I do this, I put the plant in the middle, is so this sickness will go straight into the herb and it's going to trap it there. So as I'm doing this, as I put it in there, I'm tying it up. That's what I'm envisioning. Then I take a corresponding crystal, and I'm going to tap this knot that's right here in the center. I tap it 6 times while envisioning the healing energy from the crystal going straight into this knot and then imbuing down into this herb. And it's kind of like it's putting that sickness in a prison, like it can't get out. So I leave this on here until the sickness is gone. Once the sickness is gone, then I cut off the string from the top. I do not untie it. I simply cut it off up here so I can leave this as is. And then I go outside and I burn it. I burn the string, and I burn whatever plant, I've put in there with it. And the reason I do this is so this nasty sickness can't rear its ugly little head again and make me or whoever I'm doing this for, sick again. So one thing that I do want to mention is whenever you use a plant, if you use something like mullein, motherwort, raspberry leaf, any of those, it's mugwort, any of those, it's fluffy, and so there's a hard time keeping it tied up in the knot. So what you can do is take a little piece of cloth and wrap it up and then tie it in there, to keep it. And if you want to put, the person's name, whoever you're doing the healing for, or if it's for yourself, you can write it on there and slip it in there with it as well, and tie it up. And then you would just burn everything together. All right, so then the next one is for attraction. Sorry if y'all just heard that door close. My son was closing the door. Anyway, so the next is attraction. So as you can see, I already have it tied, and I did just like, the first one. I tied a knot, but I just did the top of the string. I didn't worry about making it even like I did with the healing one. So this one is to attract, and I typically tie 4 to 9 knots, just depending on what it is I'm doing. You can tie as many as you want, but as I tie each knot, I tie one at a time, and as I tie each knot, I chant over the knot, and I also use a oil. Now the oil can be for whatever purpose you're intending. So if this was, let's just say we're doing a money spell, we want this one to be for money, so I would chant over each knot. So for this one, I went ahead and tied 6 knots in it. So I would chant something like, by the knot of 1, the spell is begun. I would anoint with oil. By knot of 2, you know just what to do. Anoint with oil. By knot of 3, the power's in me. Anoint with oil. By knot of 4, money's at my door. Anoint with oil. By knot of 5, the spell's alive. Anoint with oil. By knot of 6, my problem's fixed. And then you would anoint with oil again. Now, sorry you guys. So if you're doing things for, like things that are permanent, you want to keep going from here on out. So things like well-being, protection, success, good luck, prosperity, abundance, things like that. You can leave your string tied on here from here on out. You do not have to untie it. So you would leave it on here from here on out, and then every full moon you want to use your corresponding oil. So, just say you're doing a money one, you would use your money oil, and you would anoint these knots, and you would say the same thing over again, over each knot. Put it up again until the next, full moon, and you just keep doing that. But if it's a one-time spell, what I like to do is I untie this top knot up here. So I don't untie any of the 6 knots or how many ever knots that you're doing. I don't untie those. I tie where I remove it from the stick. Where I tied it to the stick. So up here. And I cut it off. And then I take it outside and I bury it. And that, whenever I do this, I give my gratitude for receiving what I asked for. And then, I bury it. It's done with. but I leave it on here until I receive whatever it is that I'm looking for, whatever I ask for. And what I normally do is just I'll anoint it like once a week until it is, I get whatever I receive. And I use that same oil. So whether it's for healing, success, protection, whatever, I use a magic oil that corresponds with it. Alright, so the last one I do is to banish. So as you can see, I did the same thing. I tied the knot at the top, and you're going to get your string, and you're going to tie knots in. You're going to go ahead and tie the knots. I normally do anywhere from 1 to 21 knots in the string, just depending on how many days I want this working to go. And so I tie the knots in, and I go ahead and do them all at one time. Tie them up. And then each day, I pick the same time each day too. So every day at the same time. So let's just say we're doing this working, let's just say a friend has been running her mouth like about us, she's nonstop, blah, blah, blah. It's just continuous. You need to get rid of this friend. So you want to do a banishing on this friend to get rid of her, get her out of your life for good. She's gone. All right, so let's just say I'm going to do this for 7 days. I would go ahead and tie all 7 knots in the string. Each day at the same time, I'm going to either burn or cut off 1 knot. So for 7 days, I'm going to do 1 a day. And if you cut it off, you want to keep your clippings from cutting it, or if there's any ash or anything from you burning it off, you want to keep that. On the 7th day, or however long you're doing the spell, you're going to take all the clippings and anything that's left, the string that's left up top where you tied it on, you're going to take that and you're going to go and bury it out in the yard. Now, what I like to do for my banishing, I like to start those, let's say if I'm doing it 21 days, then I will start right after the full moon, and go when the moon is waning, or I start in the waning period, and I try to make it to where it will, the last day that I'm doing it, it will end on the new moon. So what I do is I wait until the moon, or to the end of the day when the sun goes down, and then I take all the gathered little clippings and I go and bury it, and I know that it's done, it's finished, that's the end of it. So if you're doing this for people, or you're trying to banish someone from your life, or whatever, you're trying to help someone out, then you can add their belongings, into the strings. You can add like little clip, like a little piece of hair, a fingernail, anything like that, a signature. If you don't have anything of the person's, then use something that reminds you of them, something that you associate with that person. You can add things like little feathers, you can add charms, to it. It doesn't matter. You can add, anything at all that you want to add to this, you can. Sometimes I combined more than one. So say that I want to do a healing spell. So I might banish that sickness first and then do, a healing one. Or I might need to banish something before I attract it. So I would do more than one. But I want you to use this string magic however you see fit. It is fun, and there's no, particular way to do it. You do it how you see fit. This is just how I do it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about my string magic, then please feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, whatever, comment down below and let me know. Until next time, I hope that you fly high, witches. Peace!